So for some of you, you have been here a lot, right? To our success meetups. And for some of you, this is your very first visit. So the success meetups, we do them 3 times a week. Generally, they are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays tend to be with members of the training team, the training department, and they tend to all be within the KV Core wheelhouse. We don't spend too much time outside of the KV Core platform on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But on Wednesdays, that's when you have a little bit more adventure. That is run by our Success Services Department, and they are done for you Success Services Department, and they tend to go outside of KV Core, looking at things like Canva, Facebook, using Zapier, different things like that. So you can, that's how you can kind of know, which ones you may want to join in, which ones are better fits for you. There's lots and lots of good content, and all of them are posted onto our YouTube channel. So let me grab that for you. Hoping my internet's just going a little bit slow today, which is always fun. Just 1 second. Well, while that's loading up. So today we are going to focus on setting SMART goals. I figure it's a good time to do it. We're almost at the end of our year this year. And so it's a good idea to make sure that we are preparing for next year and make sure that we are, on track and how we can check in with those goals, things like that. And here is that playlist that I was looking for. There we go. There you go. If you are watching a replay on that YouTube channel, you can register for these live utilizing the live training calendar right there. So you'll be able to register for any of the sessions that you want. Additionally, if you want to know what the content is ahead of time, if you're in our Facebook group, that's where we post these things ahead of time. So that way you can always make sure that you are hopping in on things that that you want. All righty. So let's go ahead and talk about goals. Right. So we want to talk specifically about SMART goals. So a SMART goal, let me pull up my sheet, which has disappeared on me. There we go. There we go. So we want to talk about SMART goals, and let me chat that out to all of you as well. So the difference between a goal and a SMART goal. A goal is something that we want. We want to sell more houses. We want to make more money. We want to work less and make the same amount, right? Those are all SMART goals. However, or excuse me, those are all goals. Those are all things that we want. However, you want to make sure that you are setting SMART goals, right? So what the difference between a goal, which is something that you want, and a SMART goal? A SMART goal is something that is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based or time-bound. So taking that goal of I want to, really common New Year's resolution, I want to read more, right? That's great, don't we all? Right? But to make it a SMART goal, I would have to make that specific. I want to make it measurable. So not just I want to read more, but I want to read. So it's an action item. I want to read 15. So now it's measurable books next year. Right? So is that achievable? Really, only I know that. Making sure it's achievable, I want to think about the steps that I want to do. So I'm going to, plan out my 12 books and then leave room for 3 inspirational books, right? Or I'm going to go to my library on the first of every month and pick out a couple books and then commit to reading one of them. Right? So I'm putting the plans in place to make sure I'm going to achieve my goals. Is it relevant, right? What does reading have to do with anything, right? Well, it has a lot to do with lots of things, right? So, it could be for personal enjoyment, it could be personal growth, it could be learning about an industry, it could be, all kinds of reasons we would read. And then time-based, give yourself that deadline to make sure that you're hitting your goal. So, how KV Core can help you set and achieve your SMART goals? Well, one, I want to give you another resource that we have here. And it's a pipeline building calculator, because most of us know what we want. Let's see. Most of us know what we want to accomplish. Like we want more business, or maybe we know our income goal, right? However, I'm grabbing the link for you. I pulled up the wrong link. Let's do this one. So you might know how much money you want to make, for example, or you might know how many deals you need to close this year, but you don't know if it's achievable for you. So first thing, start from the top. Is it meeting more people? Is it adding a certain number of contacts to your CRM? Is it making your phone calls? Is it a business goal? Is it amount of deals that you're going to close each year? What is the specific goal or goals that you have? And I encourage you to write them down. Writing down your goals, just that simple act of writing it down and keeping it somewhere in front of you, makes you significantly more likely that you are going to achieve this goal. I think it's like 30% just by writing it down, right? That, because then it's taking subconscious action. And so just writing down this goal. So print out this sheet, print out any sheet, write it down, put it in your calendar, put it on your mirror, whatever it is. But think about what your SMART goal is. So be specific. So maybe your goal is income based. You know, I am going to build, or I am going to take home, $100,000 this year, right? Or I'm going to make $150,000 of commission this year. Maybe it's transaction based. Maybe you want to go from 10 transactions to 15 transactions. Maybe it's how many leads you want to get in each day, right? So figure out what your specific goal is and make it something measurable, not just more leads, not just more listings, but I sold 10 deals this year, so I'm going to do 15 next year. Right? Something measurable, and then achievable, making sure you know the steps that you need to take to get there. Right? And so to make it achievable for you, we have this pipeline calculator, and I'm going to share this with you as well. I'm going to pop that right into the chat. Okay, so this pipeline calculator, in order for you to utilize it, you're going to need to make a copy. That's this nice big orange side. So you're going to need to go to File at the top and then make a copy of it. That way you can get in here and edit. But let's kind of delete all these out, right? Let's just start from scratch, okay? And now my formulas are yelling at me. But let's say my commission goal. Who wants to tell me their commission goal for the year? Oh, and I forgot to unmute you also. I'm going to do that now. So you don't have to unmute yourself, but feel free to chat out. So Emily, what's your commission goal for next year?
Sorry, is it me, Emily?
Yeah, or anyone else, but yeah. What's your commission goal?
I actually am admin, so I don't really get commission.
Great. What is an agent commission goal?
Oh, I
I'll
wouldn't
go with
even know, to be honest.
150,000.
150,000. I like it. Okay, 150,000. And I'm missing a zero. There we go. Okay, so 150,000. And was that Carol?
It was.
Carol, what do you know the average commission per transaction in your area? What's the average commission?
I'm going to go with like 10 to 12.
Okay. Yeah, the national average, I looked it up, is about 12. So 10 to 12, we'll just hit the middle. We'll go with 11. So that means to hit your goal, you need 14 deals this next year. So we did some math, because usually this is where people go, okay, that's the easy math. We can do that. But when you actually need to break that down into smaller portions, making our goals achievable, you want to know, okay, so how many leads does that mean that you need a year? Does that look like a big number of leads? or a small number of leads, or in the middle? I mean, I think that
I'd
looks
say
like, go ahead.
it looks like a lot to me.
Yeah, I agree. But when you break it down even further, that's only 5 a day. And so, one, we've calculated this with a couple things here in blue. We took the average close rate of 1%. So I don't know your lead sources. Carol, do you track your lead sources?
I do.
Perfect. So you'll be able to have, better numbers than I will, going off of just, the generic statistics of what lead sources for you actually convert better. So you might get a lot of deals from referrals. Referrals are going to have a much higher close percentage rate than 1%, right? Because they already kind of know you and trust you. Open houses, for example, are going to be a little higher than 1% because those people have higher intent. They're actually looking at houses, so they generally are thinking about the market. 1% is really a lot of kind of online leads, or if you run like a contest, you're going to get a lot of people submitting information that are a wide variety of, of interests and motivation. So these numbers are calculated on that 1% kind of like online leads. But since you know your lead sources, you can look at your see what your closure rate is personally. So you could always go in and kind of, so take this with a grain of salt. Additionally, we don't want you to have to work every day, right? So take weekends off, take some holidays, take some sick days. So this is all calculated in there. This is not 365 work days. This is, 261. It's almost 100 days off of work, which is great. And then think about the things that you can do to generate leads that are going to bring in more than one person at a time. Open houses, you're going to get more than one person at a time. When you look at like a property boost product from us, you're going to get more than one person. When you are going to a networking event, you're going to meet more than one person. So it's not that you have to meet 5 new people every single day, but you want to be putting in the work so that way it averages out to that. So you can work that out, if we look at our measurable portion of this. So how will you measure your progress? So now we're going to take it into KV Core, right? And last thing on here, we've talked about relevancy, but give yourself, however your brain works. Like for me personally, looking at this commission goal, I've done a sales job before, and like aiming for the commission did not work to keep me motivated. Some of you now think I'm crazy, and that's okay. But that wasn't what got me going every day. For me, it was okay, I need 5 new people a day. Everything else will build from that. Everything else will come from that. But to me, that was an easier thing for me to visualize and feel like I could do, and to work from there. So pick the number in here that's really going to make sense to you. It might be closing, 2 deals a month, because that's going to overachieve for you. Maybe that's the number that, is that you want to track. So when you put this into your SMART goals, make sure you're measuring the right thing and putting the time base on that. So for me, I would go off of, okay, I'm going to meet 5 people a day. That was my timely goal. Or I would average that out into a week and do, okay, 5 days a week. So 25 leads per week. That for me is a good SMART goal. It wasn't helpful for me to think about how many deals I was going to close. To me, that was like too big to think about. And for some of you, you're the opposite. That's exactly the way you want to think. But make sure that your goals are set up in a way that is relevant to you, right? You don't need to listen to my goals, listen to your goals. So let's take this into KV Core and kind of break this down. So I'm going to spend a lot of my time in our business analytics section. Business analytics, that's where all the data lives. That's where all the numbers live. And so here, even just starting out with my pipeline. So what I like to do at the end of the year is I look at all my closed contacts and I see, okay, how long ago did they close? Do I still need them to be on the closed smart campaign? Am I even using the closed smart campaign? So if you're not using our closed smart campaign, take all of your closed people, add some hashtags to them so you can label them and find them and put them into your sphere of influence. Then you're kind of starting fresh for the new year. So that's one thing you can do to keep an eye on your numbers here. The other thing I would do is jot down the number of new leads I have right now, right? And so this breakdown is my status. And so if you're looking at your SMART goal and your pipeline calculator, if you're more motivated by the number of deals you're going to close, then you might focus more on how many active leads you have. Right? For me, I'm motivated by the number of new leads I get every day. That's easier for me to wrap my head around. I let KV Core do a lot of the automation. I do the things I'm supposed to do. So this is the number that I really focus on. And so keeping an eye on this and making it measurable, I'm going to give myself appointments in my calendar on how often I check in here and see kind of my growth over time. Right? Once a month, I'm going to check in. How am I on my new lead strategies? Are they working for me? Do I need help? Do I need to go to the marketplace and supplement what I'm doing and pay someone else to do some advertising for me? Can I look at my lead generation strategies? Have I consistently been posting online if I'm doing, squeeze pages? If that's my lead gen strategy, how often am I posting? Am I posting it in good places? Am I making good captions when I post? Am I getting the results that I want? And so I can look at my business analytics to really guide me and to check in on my progress of my SMART goals. My source performance is also really, really helpful here. So it shows me the last month. You can go to the beginning of time since you've had KV Core. Okay. So this is going to tell me as well, if I kind of clear all this out. So I'm just going to X those out. And then I'm going to look at the contacts that were created in the last 12 months. Now is a great time to do this because it's December. So I encourage all of you, jot this down as something you should do as like a year-end review for yourself. Go to your source performance. Since it defaults to 1 month, I like to clear out my sources, like X them out and change the time period to being the last 12 months and then update that. Right. And so then these are all the sources of my leads. Right. So I can see my biggest one was my organic website. So I'm promoting my website somehow, or these are my landing page leads are going to be organic website as well. So what is really giving me the best leads and what did not give me a lot of leads? So like one of my lower ones, direct website, looking at my Catalina wine mixer, so what's giving me the most leads, and not just leads, but ultimately converting those leads. So just taking it like a really high level, looking at the numbers, right? So what's giving me the most leads, but then I can scroll down and actually get to know my ROI, my return on investment, my conversion percentage. Because remember, this is calculated at a 1% conversion rate. But if I have, my organic website here, that's a lot of people. That's 27 total people that came in. And of that, I've got, 12 are still sitting at new lead. That's okay because I've got smart campaigns, yada, yada, yada set up. 6 of them I did talk to and found out they weren't really interested in real estate. So I put them in my sphere of influence. But I got 1 person in prospects. I have 5 active leads and I closed 3 of them in the last year. So whatever I'm doing to promote my website, I'm going to continue doing that. That's giving me really good return. Now, these are fake numbers. I don't want you to look at what I'm telling you that this is like, oh, these are all test leads. These are all me. So I just want you to know that I go in here and play around with things. So don't look at this data right here as something that is a goal. I should have said that first. I apologize that I didn't. But the concept of analyzing is what you want to do. Now, there's even a report here, right? So this report, you could download it once a month. If you get really excited about things like Excel and Google Sheets, you can like analyze and look at changes over time and all kinds of fun stuff. But really, what I suggest is come here, look at the last month and just see, okay, what's the total of these lead sources? You know, if I am paying big bucks for something and I only got 2 leads from it, did they convert? Should be my question, because paying big bucks for a lead source and they're converting is okay, right? It's okay to spend high cost per lead if they have a high conversion rate as well. And so this is a good time of year to kind of analyze and look at what's converting for you. What are you going to double down on next year? What are you not going to double down on? And so, you know, what are you going to say goodbye to? You could also get like use this information to decide, okay, this year I'm going to dive into smart campaigns. And so what lead source is the biggest one for me? You know, maybe I'm going to make a tailored smart campaign for that lead source. Right. But that's a little advanced. That's something you can definitely do yourself. It's something you can go to the marketplace and have our done for you services do for you. But when it comes to SMART goals, you want to be specific. So give yourself an action item. So for me, I'm going to meet, you know, or connect with 5 new people every day, right? And so that's something specific. It's something measurable. It's 5. It's pretty achievable. But I want to make sure I have the steps that I'm going to take to achieve that goal. Is it relevant to my business? Yes, it is. And is it time-based? Yes, because I said every day. Or I might say, I would probably realistically say 25 new leads per week, right? Because that gives me a little bit of wiggle room. And I'm going to achieve that because I'm going to do 2 open houses per week, and I'm going to promote those open houses using Property Boost and using a landing page every single time. And that's going to help me hit my goal. Right? So you can use KV Core to help you achieve the goals that you set for yourself, and also to check in and see, how am I doing towards my goal? How am I doing towards my goal of new leads? How am I doing towards my goal of, you know, increasing my conversion? That could be another goal, right? You could look here and say, okay, I get a lot of leads from the Catalina wine mixer and my board game group. Those are mostly sphere of influence leads though. Those are friends, right? Which is okay. So how can I increase getting referrals from them, right? How can I, you know, make sure that I'm being front of mind for them, that I'm in real estate? Everyone should know that I'm in real estate when I leave the room. I heard this thing just last week that I thought was really good. Are they passing the left the party test? Do I pass the left the party test? And so what that means is, if I'm at a party with someone, with a group of people, right? Parties have lots of people. And I leave that party, do they know what I did? Like if someone, oh, Christina left already. Oh, that's a bummer. What does she do again? If they can't answer that question, then I'm not doing my job, right? They should know, okay, Christina trains real estate agents on a tech platform. If they don't know KV Core, that's okay. But they should know that that's what I do, because I should be talking about it, right? Just like you. Oh, she's a real estate agent. She, you know, specializes in senior communities. She's a real estate agent who specializes in investment properties, or she's an agent, like she's a realtor. All of that. Everyone should know what you do, right? And if they don't, then you need to be reminding them. And there's lots of ways to remind people in non-salesy ways. Our market reports are good at that. Just staying front of mind with them in general, posting online on social media, right? You know, doing a Facebook Live when you're about to have an open house. These are all good ways to stay front of mind for your sphere of influence and kind of give them, you know, little micro touches on what you do. So other ways to analyze SMART goals in here, other goals that you could have. One that I really like is, you know, I could come in here and let's say I've got good lead generation, but my conversion rate is not where I want it to be. I could look at my KV core activity, and this is going to tell me maybe why I'm not doing as great as I want to be. Things like I have lots of unengaged leads, right? Of all my leads and contacts, 50 of them do not have search alerts, meaning that if they need to find a property, I'm not going to be the first person they think about. I am letting them get exposed to Zillow and Realtor.com and other agents that are out there because I don't have them on search alerts. Right. So I want to make sure that I'm putting people on search alerts. Now, this can all be relevant based on their status. Like my sphere of influence, I'm not going to send them listing alerts or search alerts every single day. They're going to get them like once a month or once every other week, that kind of a thing. Same thing with like a market report. I might send someone a county-wide market report if they are, have been in their home and aren't planning on moving for a couple of years, just so they can kind of like know the area in general. Or maybe they'd rather have their neighborhood. Like, I want to know what's happening in my neighborhood. I want to be hyper local. So you want everyone on at least one of these two follow-up systems, these nurturing systems. Right. So maybe that's going to be your SMART goal. Maybe for the first quarter, you're going to measure this. Right? I'm going to keep doing what I was doing, but I'm going to screenshot this, for example, or jot it down. And I currently have 120 people not on SMART campaigns. So my SMART goal, let's say I want to get this done in the first quarter. So my SMART goal is to add 120 people to SMART campaigns by the end of March. Right? That's my SMART goal. All kinds of ways I can get that done in here, simple as going to my SMART CRM, and maybe I'm just going to assign them. Like I can run my filter for no SMART campaigns. Or even easier, let me go back. So business analytics, and we were in our KV core activity. Even easier, if I look at who does not have SMART campaigns, there's this tiny little arrow here. And that's going to run the filter for me. So all of these people do not have SMART campaigns, right? They're all going to forget me. So I can, lots of things here. I can just, grab these new leads, go to more actions and add a campaign, right? Maybe I want to reach out. I want to engage them. We have all kinds of trainings we've done on re-engaging cold leads. Right? So maybe I'm going to mass email them something. A good something, I really like this. I'm going to chat this out to you, is the imported leads default email. And there's a matching text. So I'm going to put that on there too. So I pick up the template, imported leads, right? And I really like this. As I strive to provide the best customer service, I've decided to adopt new technology and do a spring cleaning of my database. So I am reaching out to everyone I've helped, showed houses to, or discussed real estate needs with throughout the many years I've been in business. And then you basically ask them what status they are. And then it sends them to your agent website. Right? And this is one I've customized because I also added a link in to sign up for our market report. Right? So this is a really, really good way to get people to engage with you. And then as they respond, add them to a SMART campaign. That's a second way to do it. First way, grab people and just stick them on a SMART campaign. Second way, reach out to get some engagement. And as they engage with you, put them on the appropriate SMART campaign. Right? So lots of ways to get the system to be more powerful. And the more automation you have in place, the more KV Core is doing that heavy lifting and that warming up for you, the more opportunities for conversation and communication you have, and the higher your conversion rates can go. So that's SMART goal setting in a nutshell, making sure your goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and then time-based as well. You can combine that with the pipeline calculator if you need some help kind of setting that SMART goal. You know, what is my income? Find out your average gross commission. Some of us are higher, some of us are lower, depending on where we are. Average across the country, I looked up, was like 12,000, I think. So look that up. And then it's going to math the rest out for you, which is pretty great. And then you just want to make sure this is kind of the hard part, I think, is the achievable part. What steps do I need to take to accomplish this goal? Right? So I need to hold 2 open houses a week and post a landing page about those open houses. Right? And I'm going to measure, right? I'm going to check in once a month. Am I doing it? Right? Did I hit my 25? Right. And then maybe I can adjust. Maybe if I'm doing my 2 open houses and posting, maybe I'm getting like 45 leads, a week. So let's adjust the goals. Right. Okay, great. I'm getting even more leads. That means I'm going to have even higher commission. So let's keep it going. Right. So any questions about SMART goals or business analytics in KV Core before we open it up to just anything? All right. What about anything? Any questions that you have about KV Core that you want me to answer? Scan from a QR code to a landing page. I know how to put it on a smart campaign, but I don't know how to get their names and telephone numbers. Okay, so scanning from a QR code to a landing page. So let's look at our landing pages. Engine, landing page. Okay, so if you are in Google Chrome, you can actually make any page a QR code. You can make a QR code for any page. So once you're done building out your landing page here, you can use this little kind of icon up here at the top, and you can create a QR code here. So specifically for getting a couple things to think about, because your question is asking about names and telephone numbers. So you are correct. So this does not directly ask for names, and telephone numbers, we've left it as optional. So part of the reasons that we do that is the more information you ask for from a person, the less likely you are to get that information, right? If I have to enter in, the more I have to enter in, the less likely I am to do it. So that's why we have the phone number being optional. You can, however, require it. You can ignore our advice. That is just fine. There are certainly strategies for why you would do that. And part of it is phone numbers are really important and valuable. Also, people tend to be a little bit more motivated if they are willing to give you their phone number. So absolutely. So you can require that phone number. The second thing to think about is, are you offering them something of value, right? Because my name, my phone number, my email address, that's valuable to me, right? I mean, I certainly have my junk email that goes everywhere, but right, my name, my phone number, my email, that's valuable to me. So you have to make sure that you are offering me enough value that is worth this kind of exchange. So as you look at the landing page that you create, is it clear to them what they're going to get from you if they give you this information? Right. So that's
May I interject a
yeah,
moment?
please do.
I'm so sorry.
No, please do.
So I understand everything that you have stated. And so what it generally is that I may have something at my open house
Mhm.
that says scan to get whatever.
Totally.
So they scan, they go to the landing page. I have where they can get what I have said that they would have access to.
Uh-huh.
Then from there, because I put a hashtag on it, I then run whatever campaign is applicable to that landing page.
Mhm.
But what I don't know how to do is because the only thing I have is their email address, which is why I'm able to run a campaign on their email address. But I don't know how to get the information. Like, is there something I could put in my campaign that would then make them need to give me their information? Like, for example, on the mobile search app, when you click on it, it goes to this page where you enter in your telephone number so it could text you the information. So I'm just trying to think, is that how you do it? It's at some point you motivate them to receive a text so you get their phone number? I just don't know how I'm doing that. Like, how am I taking these leads that are coming to this site and doing anything but just, sending them emails? Was
Right.
that helpful?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, good.
absolutely. So there is one feature in KV Core and it does that for you. It's called lead validation. And so when I have a lead that comes in from, from a landing page, we run this thing called lead validation. And you'll know if lead validation has been run because this kind of award ribbon over here is green. And so if it's not green, if it's kind of gray, you can just click on it. We should do that automatically. And so if you are finding you have lots of leads that have this ribbon here is gray, reach out to our support team because that should be happening automatically. And so
Oh, you know what? I never even paid attention. Like, I just simply thought, I didn't know what I was thinking. Yeah. So thank you. I'm now going to go into KV Core, see if they're green or if they're gray, then I'm going to reach out. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah, you're welcome. And this validation is really cool. So mine didn't find anything because this is a fake email address. But what it will do, it looks through public information to see what we can find. Like, can we find their Facebook page? Can we verify their name? Did we find another number that we think is associated with this person? And so it looks through publicly available information to see what we can find, and then we update it if we find anything. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I can't wait to delve back into it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Absolutely. Glad to help. What other questions do we have out there? No way did we just have one.
I don't have any questions, but I do want to once again just tell you guys you're doing a fantastic job. I just found the YouTube channel. I absolutely love it. So
I love it
thanks
too.
to love it. So yesterday I learned how to copy a campaign and I was, and share it. I was like mind blown. Okay.
Yes. Yep, I love it. For anyone who missed it, we have a whole YouTube channel, but we have specifically a playlist for these success meetups too. So there's the playlist specifically for these success meetups. We also have a whole channel, and the channel includes things like we do twice a year we do like updates. So we did like a fall release overview webinar, and so that you can find on our YouTube channel. We do a spring release as well, things like that. Facebook, yeah, let me grab that link for you. Oops, wrong link. Let's see, inside, there we go. So for the Facebook group, There you go. So if you click on that link for Facebook, it'll take you right in here. So you'll want to join. It is a private group, so you'll need to be approved to join, but it happens pretty quickly. And then we post every Monday. That's funny. Let's see. Let's go to my Facebook group. All right, it's taking me to all my private Facebook stuff instead of my KP Core group. Let's try that again. And now it's mad at me. There it goes. Finally. Okay. Okay. Inside Real Estate Discussion Group. There we are. So here we have our featured posts. So we're going to put, we put like our old links on here. And then here we have this week's success meetup topics. So here's our registration link. And then here is the steps for this week. So this week we did quick and easy holiday updates to your website, date-based campaigns for your top 50, and get prepped for 2023 with SMART goals. So every Monday we'll post that out so you can always keep an eye on what the upcoming topics are going to be. All right, any other questions for me?
What was your name again?
I'm Christina.
Christina, happy holidays, and thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
what you shared today.
Thank you. You are very welcome. All right, well, if that's all for the day, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all online.